Okay, so let's see what we can do to counteract that point where we got that like up here where it starts to kick out, the elbow starts to move out of the way. So you get a pretty good, flexion. Let's look at it from the side. Then you can see we get to a certain point, it starts to kick out. You can see it from the front window there better just with the joints. So let's see what we can do about that. Alright, so one thing I can do, have my constraints selected, I can take the three translate values, type in 0, and they all go back to 0, 0, 0. That's the other value of having that simple NURB constraint. It's easy to get to. Don't have to fight through the mob of stuff here. And I can reset it to 0 and have everything, my rig and my go back to the correct position. So I'm going to create something new we haven't used before for the locator. Basically, again, a NURB that's just, it won't render, but it's a way of having something on the stage or in the scene that you can rely on, right? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the same thing we did before. I'm going to use the V key. I'm going to middle mouse drag it right over to that, what we call the trochley or notch joint, and it just happened to hit right on that spot, so it's in good shape. Alright, now I have it snapped to there. It's got some types of transformations on it, right? I'm going to switch this panel to orthographic left side so I can see. And I'm going to take only the z-axis because this is the way I want to, in other words, move this behind or posterior to the allochronon, but I don't want to move it in multiple axes. I just want to move it in one axis, okay? Now, with it positioned back there, I'm going to hold down the shift key and click on the IK handle. So now I have the locator. Oops, I'm sorry, I forgot something very important, right? What did I forget? Delete by type history. Modify freeze transformations. Now I'm going to select the locator, and I can hold down the command key and select the IK. And now I'm going to do another constraint called a poleVectorConstraint. Okay. Now watch what happens. Let's go back to our perspective view again. Now this time I get my IK, I raise it, and let me pull back here a little bit. Okay, I'm raising, and my elbow starts to go out of the way a little bit, goes crooked. All right, so I'm going to look for trying to find where I put my, well, it might be under geometry. Oh, I have geometry. I can find that locator someplace. It's in there somewhere. Where'd you go, locator? Let's see, back here. Oh, there it is. I'm sorry, it's kind of a green color at the background. All right, now I can actually correct that by pulling or moving the locator. So the locator, this poleVector, like the point constraint, can only move, can't rotate or scale. The vector is a line between this, it's really between this IK and this locator, but it's based on the middle of that IK system, this joint. So what it's doing is basically saying it's invisible, if you will, anywhere I move that locator, the elbow is always going to point at it. And so that lets me correct that. All right, so if I were to go back to 0 for my locator and 0 for my rotate, all right, and sorry, that locator is such a bad color. All right, so I'm going to get I'm at 0. I'm going to say S for set key, come up 36 frames. Okay. Oh, I'm going to do something else, I'm sorry. While I'm still at frame 1, I'm going to grab my locator and say S for set key for that. Now I'm going to come to frame 36. I'm going to raise my arm. Okay. I want it to bend a little bit. Then I'm going to grab my locator. Okay. Move that so the arm's vertical again. So I'm going to say S for the locator. And I'm going to say S for my point constraint. So both things now have keys set at frame 36. Then I'm just going to move down arbitrarily, like say 10 frames. I'm going to say S again and for the constraint and S again for the locator. Then I'm going to come back to, what do I do, 36, about 92. I like to make it, like I said, just a little different. All right, now I'm going to take the locator, set it to 0, hit S, get my constraint, set it to 0, and hit S. Now what I should have is an arm that flexes and stays perpendicular to the axis. So the combination of the limiting the motion of the joint and the pole vector constraint on the IK have given me this ideal control, if you will.